Tonight I wanna see the bright lights over me. Show me something magical, something beautiful. Come and take me higher, set my world on fire tonight, tonight. Show me everything I want to know. You take me right around the world. I'm feeling tonight, got me feeling so right. Best of the good life.
This week on Top Billing, the proof is in the wearing as Sophie Ndaba shows off her fabulous new figure and new home decor. Heino Schmitt is living in the present, making stunning art and loving his new role as TV presenter. Struggle icon Mathabo Kunene toasts her birthday as only she knows how, by giving to others. The only thing that makes Bailey Schneider happier than being wed to DJ Sox is marrying him twice in one weekend. Twin sisters Maimoona Omuabor and Hafsa Salim turned the style they learned from their mother into a thriving enterprise. And your presenter, Roxy Burger, brings you our lineup from the house that Yvonne Chaka Chaka calls home anytime she's in Durban.
Good evening, welcome to Top Billing and to our lead story tonight on former Sevendelaan star Heino Schmitt. As an actor, he's a master of reinvention, and as Pacella's new presenter, he's revealing even more hidden talent at creating the most artistic pieces of furniture.
To see Heino's work firsthand in a local gallery is to understand his thorough approach to life. Growing up in the Waterberg on his father's Nguni cattle farm, he saw sculpture in nature. Trees, rocks and driftwood were all inspiration. With each of these pieces taking up to 3 months to create, they are a labor of love.
I'm absolutely impressed. Your passion doesn't only lie on screen, it definitely shows here as well.
Thank you, thank you. This is how I express myself. This is me sharing some emotion on a different level.
Some of these pieces are unbelievable. What would you even call it?
I call this functional art. It's not only beautiful to look at, but it's also functional. I only use raw materials. I use wood, leather, steel, copper, brass. And I try and be very honest, and I've got a lot of integrity when I work.
I know, from its inception to birthing something so creative, what's the process like?
Well, it's different with every piece, you know. Usually I try and source something that's interesting, whether it be a piece of wood or a piece of metal or a collectible. And then I design something around it in a unique way. So every piece is a once-off. Every piece gets coded, and I make my own bolts. I make my own rivets. I literally make every piece.
Heino champions the natural form of wood and works it with a meticulous nature, inherited from his German father, Otto Schmitt.
I can totally understand why this is your favorite piece. It's so intricate, the detail is exquisite.
Thank you. What's cool about it, it's got 2 lights, so you can switch either one on or off. And then I designed this brass detail just to accentuate the beauty and the uniqueness of this amazing piece of wood.
It's really hard for me to believe that Heino the actor is this brilliant at art.
I think we are all creative, right? And we express it in different ways. Now, my father had a passion for wood and nature, and he taught me everything I know about wood, how to work with wood, and how to appreciate wood. And 2.5 years ago, I lost him, sadly. And then I started thinking differently about life. I started asking questions about what I want to do and where I want to go and what makes me happy. And I started working with my uncle who works with steel, and he taught me about steel, and I realized how forgiving steel is and how much you can do with it. So I tried to combine what I learned from my father in the past with something new that I'd learned to create interesting, different, unique pieces.
These scrapyard water valves are now a one-of-a-kind table. The counterbalance to Heino's artwork is the release he finds in adventure sports, to be found in places like Parys.
You're no stranger to our TV screens, and you've moved it up a notch. You're now in Pacella. What's it been like?
It's been amazing working with a dynamic team and just experiencing our country in a different way, traveling to weird places and meeting interesting people and having a lot of adventure.
Being a new face on Pacella, you obviously bring a new dynamic to the team. What is it that you as Heino Schmitt contributes?
I think my love and passion for adventure, and I love people, and just meeting all those different people and experiencing what a day in their lives looks like. And I think I'll bring myself to the show, right?
Nice. Now, you have a sense for adventure. You've got me in these ridiculous-looking pants. Do you have an ace up your sleeve?
Didn't I tell you?
Tell me what?
From one presenter to another, it's time to share my sense of adventure. We're going up to 11,000 feet to skydive.
This was Heino's 7th jump. Chris had yet to earn his wings, so some reassurance was welcome.
CORNÉ, I'm really excited. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. My life is literally going to be in your hands. Are we safe?
Okay, firstly, this is one of your safest sports you can do. And the most dangerous part of the jump you already did. You drove here. So that is out the way. This is a parachute you're going to use for the jump. It's even got a computer inside it that will activate the parachute if I don't do it. So that's how safe it is. And on your harness, you've got 4 attachment points. The top ones can take about 2.5 tons each, and the bottom one's about 1.5 tons. I will put this on you, I'll make it really tight and secure, and you'll be strapped to your tandem instructor. All you must do, you must hold on and enjoy the ride.
Hey, no, you're no stranger to skydiving. This is my first time. Any advice?
All I can say is be present, enjoy it, and remember to breathe out. Trust me, the air is going to come in quickly.
I don't feel any sort of panic or any sort of nerves.
That's the best thing to do.
Maybe it's going to happen when we get up there.
Just be calm. Just be calm. Yeah.
That's what he said.
Do this. Okay, we'll do that again just before we jump.
Okay, then
we'll do it afterwards.
Snowboarding is Heino's favorite adventure sport, but in the absence of the Alps and reliable snow conditions, the equivalent is to get in a plane and jump out at the altitude of the Alps.
Have you tied your shoelaces, Chris?
I've tied my shoelaces. These shoes aren't coming off, man. I love these shoes.
There wasn't much time for this lifestyle whilst Heino was filming soapies 6 days a week and often from 6 to 6 each day. On Pasela, it's part of his job.
I'm getting excited, I can feel the nerves, but I'm ready, man, I'm ready to go.
Mr. Schmitt enjoys this mostly because he says it forces him to be completely present in the moment. Extreme sports demand that total focus. It's an extreme variation on what his father taught him. A grounded and patient man, he instilled in his son an awareness of his surroundings and how to appreciate nature by just being. This is Heino's riff on that philosophy, and next, it was Chris's turn to jam. After the thrill of free-falling at 200 kilometers an hour, the chute deploys. And floating over the Vredefort Dome, you get to really appreciate life.
That was awesome, man. I'm alive, and I can feel it right now.
There! And she is pulling out the better place.
Oh, what a rush!
This is a very different experience to acting, where you're learning your lines and waiting for your scene to be called.
Chris was getting pretty nervous. I could see it. But I'm sure he's loving it right now.
He certainly was.
What a hard landing! Oh my gosh! A hard landing, oh my gosh, that was dope! Let me tell you something, I may be on the ground, but I'm gonna be on cloud 9 forever, man. That was so cool.
You're alive.
That was
what does
so
it feel
cool.
like?
Alive. Oh, it feels amazing. It's so cool. How did it feel for you? Is this like, does it ever get boring?
It never gets boring, you know. They say if you're not living on your edge, you're taking up too much room, and we just stepped off it.
We just stepped off the edge, man. The world is ours.
It's ours.
Oh yeah! Let's do it again.
Let's do it again. I told you.
Oh man, that was amazing. That was amazing. Thank you.
Heino, from all of us at Top Billing and SABC3, a very warm welcome to Pasela on SABC2.
Coming up, a heroine of the struggle known for her hospitality, Mathabo Kunene celebrates her birthday, and a famous house guest.
Mrs. Mathabo Kunene and her late husband, African Poet Laureate Professor Mazisi Kunene, fought for the rights of South Africans in exile. They continue to do so through their foundation here in South Africa, and Mrs. Kunene celebrated her birthday by once again helping others.
The aim of the event was for Mathabo Kunene to use her birthday to recognize the work of her late husband and his legacy through the Mazisi Kunene Foundation. CEOs mixed with orchestra directors and retired judge presidents. No one was going to miss this.
Gogo, first of all, a very happy 76th birthday to you. 76 has never looked so good.
Thank you. Let's tell the world 76 is still good.
You look absolutely exquisite. Who are you wearing?
We work together with one of the leading designers I know in South Africa, Lindiwe Kuzwayo. She's not quite my age, but she understood what I was looking for.
The invitation said whimsical hats and casual suits, and with 110 guests, the party was soon awash with colorful personalities.
As an event coordinator, how was it working so closely with the Kunene family?
It's an absolute dream working for them. They are all about fantasy and dreams and pushing the boundaries. So not just in their life and their foundation and people, but the community. So bringing it all together and a lot of different people from all over, what a dream.
The Mazisi Kunene Foundation has a significant focus on educating the youth, and the couple's children are a shining example of this commitment.
Okay, so this moment is about the lady of the hour, your mom. When did you realize that they were very special to this country?
Well, you know, growing up, we always knew that we had a responsibility to the community. We never had our own rooms. Our house was always a place for refugees from literally all over the world, but obviously mostly from South Africa.
We always knew that our family was part of something bigger. We always knew, even from, there's a joke in our family that we learned how to protest before we learned how to walk.
What is it about your mom and your dad that inspires you?
As you see around you, the things that she's put together for this particular event, she's done with an eye towards giving back to the community. All the proceeds from the auction will go back towards her fight for education in South Africa and the empowerment and improvement of the community.
My mom has always been that facilitating force where, you know, there are all these amazing, awesome people coming to our home who have great ideas and they're philosophers. And then at the end of the day, after talking themselves blue in the face, everyone's hungry. What she created was more than food. You're talking about people who are exiled from their homes, you know, living far away in places that have no connection, none of the language, none of the texture, nothing. And at the end of everything, that smell of curry, that smell of home is the thing that I think brought people together more than anything.
Their Amatlongwa village project has taken the high school pass rate from 33 to 89%.
The Mazisi Kunene Foundation is one that's inspired many people and it has come a long way. What are your thoughts on it?
I think what inspires me about that foundation is the family all get involved. They all put in long hours, and to see a charitable place like that where you can see exactly where your money is going, there's somebody behind it like Mathabo who really cares and does a whole lot of work for it. So it can only go further and further from here.
Of all the impressive Game Lodge escapes and haute couture outfits on auction, the most popular item was Brunch for 10, hosted by Mathabo herself. This particular lot fetched a whole lot.
The spirit of hospitality is second nature to Mathabo Kunene. She has 3 decades of experience cooking for guests from Michael Jackson to Nelson Mandela, and it's written into every detail of this, her magnificent Durban-based home.
3 years ago, Mrs. Kunene moved from her Glenwood house, which had become the Mazisi Kunene Museum. Looking for a new home which echoed the welcoming feel of old estates in England, her instincts led her to this classic century-old house.
Hello!
It immediately felt like a sanctuary.
Well, welcome to our home.
Thank you.
Yes.
I love the fact that I can tell you've brought the exterior sort of colonial feel into the interior, yet you've got personal touches here and there, am I right?
Yes, absolutely. Having traveled all over the world for such a long time, You have all kinds of fantasies that one day when I settle down, this is what I want to do. And coming back to South Africa and finding a colonial home like this, it was a bit of a challenge. What to put in, what to do, at what place. And I think the most important thing is to make it always your home. In the battle to create your own home, you have to bring real issues in. This is Dumile Feni. Was a very close friend of my husband. He was an exile. He was an incredible artist. His work had been exhibited in the New York Metropolitan Museum of Art. He was big. And then my husband commissioned him to direct a piece on an elegy, which is a long poem of weeping and sorrow. In isiZulu, it's called Isililo, because a friend of his who was Chinese, had gone back to China and was never heard of.
The artwork and words combine to give these prints a gravity that draws you in. This is balanced by Mathabo having fresh flowers cut from her own garden all year round. Always popular at her parties.
Well, let's go into the dining room.
The tone of this room is set in part by the furniture, but mostly by the photographs.
Sometimes those stories of poverty today seem to define who we are as Africans, but it's not true. You can see my parents. The way I look at my mother's style, I think this is in the 30s. I wish I could pick up some of that from her. But this is what life was like. They knew the challenge was there, and they lived and worked harder to attain what they wanted to do for their children, for themselves.
This table arrangement makes for good conversation and shows what a global citizen Mathabo Kunene is.
I'm an auction fundi. I go to auctions and I outbid everyone when I want to. With my paddle, if I wanted. These are two Chinese teapots. You can see by their size, they are for big ceremonies, because the Chinese people are small cups and everything. Here in the center, I have a piece by the world-famous ceramist from KwaZulu-Natal, Nesta Nala. Her pieces now are in the Smithsonian in the US. Amazing woman.
As well as being her own place in the sun, Mathabo welcomes local housekeepers to meet her. It's part of her ongoing dedication to breaking down barriers.
This was our wedding in London. It was a very small wedding. None of our family members were there, but there were a lot of exiled South Africans who lived in London who were bussed into this quiet little village in a bus singing Zulu songs. It was an amazing wedding, an amazing culmination of a long period of aloneness for a lot of our young men who lived in exile. This was before I left South Africa. This was David Goldblatt's work. He's a famous South African photographer, and these were photographed by Jagan Schadderbeck. He's the one who shot Mandela and Robert Allen.
The classic Berea style of high ceilings with chandeliers in every room is one which Mathabo opens up to learners from rural areas, bussing them in to be inspired, to think and dream big.
Your house is filled with memories. What other purpose did you have for it when you bought it?
This was, to me, the place to be when you can entertain family, you can have friends come in. Oh, look, are you still here? Look, I thought you were going to get your flight.
You didn't tell me to leave, not yet.
Oh,
I should have known.
Not before lunch, not before lunch.
Oh my goodness, I don't know if lunch is ready.
But you know
Darling,
what? I should have known that you kept fabulous friends like Miss Yvonne Chaka Chaka. I mean, the two of you together are like the most fabulous BFFs I think I've ever seen.
Well, this is not even a friend. She's my sister.
Yeah.
She's my sister. Well, this is my room when I'm here.
Oh, there you go.
Because I
Has a name here. You can't do anything.
This has my name here.
Sometimes she calls from the airport. Mathabo, I'm coming. Have you cooked?
Well, if I don't want to sleep alone, I squat in her room, just like she does to me.
Yes,
she taught me that.
But who wouldn't want to? I mean, look at this. This is a suite. This isn't just a room. I think that I need to become a BFF as well, so that, you know, you and I can have fabulous sleepovers.
All right.
Is that okay?
Work on that. There has to be a purpose to the whole thing.
Mathabo is just so modest. Did she tell you she's building a whole school in Mazisi's village? She says, Yvonne, I had absolutely nothing. And now that I have, I just need to share. How many people are doing that? She is just an amazing woman.
Everybody must know they have a chance. I bring a lot of college graduates here, and I said to them, they said, oh, what a beautiful... I said, I'm just showing you the possibilities of being free and also staying in school. There's no other barrier except the one you set for yourself.
Mathabo often sits in her garden, watching visiting school children and enjoying the afternoon quiet, when she can take a moment to think up genius new dishes.
Where did your love affair with food start?
Well, it started with my mother. She was a culinary arts teacher, and we always had very disciplined food structures, so we raised that way. And when we were in exile, it worked very well for me because we were broke, we didn't have money. I sold food on the streets in Los Angeles, and I bluffed my way to Beverly Hills by saying I was a chef.
And of course, you've cooked for some of the most influential people in the world.
That's my pride. Because somebody discovered me in Los Angeles when there was going to be a fundraising at Michael Jackson's home with Bishop Tutu. It was a big, big fundraising. And all the stars in Hollywood came out, and Whoopi Goldberg was the auctioneer. They auctioned over $1.5 million for the South African, and I was the chef.
She was also the head chef at the wedding of Nelson Mandela to Graça Machel. It's African fusion cooking, served with an extraordinary story.
And how do you think your late husband would feel about the home that you have established for your family?
If you have the opportunity to read his work, you'll understand he was a deeply spiritual person. We feel the presence here all the time, and that's why we can thrive. That's why we're open to people coming here and enjoying it, not as an exclusive little place, but it continues the legacy of his generosity. People who lived with him in London know that the place of refuge was 185A Gloucester Place, which was Mazisi's place. When you lived in Los Angeles, the first heat of the students who came out of 1975, it was at 3846 Chanson Drive. There was never not enough room for anyone. So this place has given us just more opportunity, and that's why I love it so much.
After 21 years in exile, Mathabo has arrived at her destination. Here she finds peace in the company of the youngest Kunenes and the love of the people in her community.
What this home tells you, and anyone who visits it, is that home is wherever Mathabo Kunene is.
Next on The Best of the Good Life, Sophie Ndaba cooks herself into the shape of her life, starts another business, and offers some words of wisdom.
When it comes to untapped talent, it seems there's nothing our soap stars can't do. Actress Sophie Ndaba found enormous success a second time around as a wedding coordinator, and now she's proving an inspiration all over again with her remarkable story of weight loss.
Actress, producer, wedding coordinator, designer, mother, and philanthropist, Sophie Ndaba lives several lives in one.
So this is the house that Queenie built.
This is the house that Queenie built 13 years ago, 14 years ago. Yeah. I feel old, but I'm not.
Is that why you're doing all the renovations? You're keeping up with the trends?
Absolutely. I'll show you my favorite room, of course. Mm-hmm. This is my green room. This is where
But before you carry on, a lot of people don't know that you have an interior design business and decorating for like the last 8 years.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. I mean, I was inspired by a neighbor of mine thinking, I like your stuff. And I thought, I have a touch. I did a bit of research, got together with a few architects, and together now we are a power team that really transforms homes from nothing to something together. And my own home, of course, you know, they say a doctor, a surgeon can never ever operate on themselves. So I mean, this is the only time and first time I've really sat down and thought, those tiles are quite ancient. I wouldn't. Yeah. I mean, the color of the walls are quite ancient. Everything's quite ancient, but there are a few tricks that I have had up my sleeves for many years for people who don't really afford new furniture. And I've transformed old furniture into new furniture.
So repurposing, basically.
Repurposing, absolutely. Like this table, for instance. It's a coffee table that I've had for over 18 years. It was one of my first tables I could afford to buy on installment. And because I wanted to keep it, I restained it and I put a mirror finish on top and I beveled it on the edges. So you can reuse your old furniture in a cost-effective way. Let me show you my other favorite rooms. Very simple, still, family rooms. All the rooms in my house, by the way, are family rooms. Why? Because I think nobody should dictate the fashion in a home. If you've got children, make it comfortable. Less glass, more comfort. Make it all cushy and comfortable. Hence, even my chairs over here are very comfortable. If my son, you know, pushes it around, I'm not gonna panic and think you're gonna snap the handle, you're gonna snap the back. I think mothers overdo their homes. You must just
mom was so good. Like, I'm so glad you said it. My mom was great at that as well. Like, it felt like a home.
Yeah.
Like, you could run around, and if you knocked something over, it was okay.
Nobody's panicking.
You go jump on the couch and chuck a blanket over you and watch the cartoons, and the dogs could come jump on the couch. That's a home, you know?
That's a home, absolutely.
Not
so
the latest
this,
fashion trends.
yeah, so this is just that room where anything goes, whereas for other people in their homes, it's like, that's a private room for visitors only. In your own home, no. Everybody must chill anyway.
I'm not even going to try and list the amounts of awards that you've won and been nominated for, but I've got 2 of these.
Oh, wow. Well, I've got one.
This is the People's Choice Award, basically,
Absolutely.
of South Africa, the You
Yes,
Spectacular.
Yes. Favorite actress by South Africa. Totally excited because these are the people that make us who we are.
Exactly,
Okay?
exactly.
These are the people that matter. Because if they say no, nothing happens. We don't move. We stay where we are. So I'm where I am today because of the people that voted.
Because of all of you out there, that's why we're here. Thank
Fabulous people.
Good acceptance speech.
Yes, 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 yes.
Any other very special ones that stand
I
out?
mean, like, I think the Golden Horn.
I'd love one of these.
Yes, yes.
This is next in line for me.
Yes, it was the most comical actress award. I've been off that show for many years now.
And still,
and still, the people still refer to me as the fabulous Queenie, and I'm thinking, wow, it's just a blessing. And I don't let it get to my head. It's really a blessing and an honor to have had an opportunity to play that amazing role and that character that people still love up to date. And you never know what could happen.
Exactly. Shall we move on next?
Oh yeah, my kiddies room. My kiddies room.
Yeah, the kiddies room. Yeah.
It's the most comfortable room in the house. That room that you're talking about, that room where it's the plainest colors, the simplest colors. It's not about fashion or trying to show anybody anything.
Yeah.
It's really that room where we sit down, my kids jump about. As you can see, it's a leather couch, so it's been here as well for like 10 years. Custom made 10 years ago.
And I like it. It's like it's molded to your body shape, so it's very comfortable.
I think you remember the day bed kind of concept, right? And that's when you understand that this day bed kind of concept is when everybody thought, if I have a day bed, I can watch movies and I can be comfortable, and you've really done something spectacular with your life. So I had done something spectacular by having a leather day bed.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You've made it in life when you have a day bed.
Absolutely.
Kitchen right over there, stones throw away. It doesn't look outdated. You don't want to renovate that, do you?
Darling, that black stone is 100%. I think now we do Caesar stone. There is no way we could be doing the black stone.
See, that's why you have the interior design business.
This is my son's favorite room because this is where he makes his smoothies and has his muffins and fruit. So
wait a second. Aren't you diabetic?
Yes.
So what are you can't have muffins?
Oh no, but you can't either, even as a guest. You can't either. That's for my son. Why I say that, if you're in my home and you over 15, then you have to eat what I eat. You know what they say? When you're in Rome, you do what the Romans do.
Exactly.
So you are in Rome currently, so what I eat, you eat.
You only recently found out that you had diabetes, so that must have been a big lifestyle shift for you.
First of all, you're afraid because I hadn't really researched it. Both my parents have had diabetes and lived with diabetes until my mom died, but my dad is still alive. He's on dialysis now. So obviously that's where you actually realize that if I had paid more attention to what I eat, I think, like we always say, people pay more attention into saying, I want to go gym, I want to run, I want to this, but it's what you put into your body. And that is why the kitchen is one of the most important places for me in my home. And that is why it's one of the rooms I want to transform, because I just think this is where I need to be happy. This is where I need to come up with new ideas, new recipes. And that's one of the things that I want to do, teach people about this killer, silent killer, because I think if you don't know, you could die.
In Sophie's kitchen, 5 colors of fruit and veg in your diet every day helps your path to good health.
Lemon juice.
Yummy. Sophie, this is where we really see the caterer in you coming out, which is another one of her businesses.
Which is where I started.
Your very first business, in fact.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's one of the businesses that actually inspired me to build this home. When I started saving up, I lived in a townhouse, I was an actress, and I said, I need to be different, I need to evolve. I started out as a model, I wasn't talking, and I thought I need to talk, so I became an actress. And then I thought, how do I evolve from just being an actress and depending on a producer picking me, depending on auditions? And I thought, let me start a business. And catering came naturally, and I thought, well, I am going for it. So that's why I then decided I am going for catering.
You're like that friend which you can, if you want advice on acting or modeling or catering or interior design or wedding planning, anything you want to know, you just chat to Sophie.
Anything fabulous.
Speaking of being fabulous, I love your life motto. It's not just about surviving, but thriving and in style, correct?
Yes, thriving and in style. For me, it's like I'm not really here to impress anybody, but I'm here to leave a legacy for my children and to inspire those who want to be inspired by me, of course.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
So what else have we got to do here?
Okay, well, I'm cutting the veggies. We're almost there. We're almost there. We're almost there.
We've got a great combination going. We've got peppers, we've got lemons, mushrooms, beans. We've got pretty much everything here.
I believe when you're preparing a meal, it's not about just, what it looks like, the colors. They're very exciting, but you must also make sure that it tastes good. So yes, there and there, sneak in my favorite spices, even though I know they create water retention. But the herbs are the highlight, the parsley, the thyme, this and that. But the highlight is that it must taste good.
Given Sophie's schedule, quick, fresh cooking in a wok is ideal.
Sophie, this is such a great example of how a healthy meal can be delicious as well.
Absolutely. I think once you discover veggies and the combo with protein, then you're living. I don't think people are living yet until they make this amazing discovery that I made after so many years.
You've had a much publicized weight journey, but it was never about vanity for you. It was actually a healthy and conscious decision.
I struggled a lot because I was going around it the wrong way. And, I would go on crash diets and then get too busy and forget, and then still go through the drive-through. But I never took, a lunchbox. And now I do. And I carry my lunch tonight, but I make it fabulous, of course. So I'll carry my half a fruit because I can't have too much sugar, and I'll carry my snack, meaning my nuts mixed with something else, with a bit of biltong, with a bit of that, because protein plays also a good role in my diet. And I take my snack vegetables because you can carry a few carrots, a few greens, and just snack on them on the way. And my strawberries, my berries are obviously the best because they're good for me as a diabetic. So I do my blackberries a lot, but not too much. Too much of anything is not good. So I'm living it and I'm happy. Just to show you the hard work that I've put into this is through my outfits, of course, because I used to buy the right size, but obviously buy stretch because it was safer. And if I gained half a kilo, it would go with me and stretch with me. But now it's quite evident, even with my old clothes, that we're stretching. As stretchy as they were, they still are too big now.
So you've kept the old clothes as memento for how far you've come.
The ones that I really love, I'm taking them to a seamstress. But the ones that I'm like, there are a lot of people who would love to wear fabulous clothes, and I give away. And to family, friends, people who just want something and say, I remember that red dress, can I have it? I just give it because I don't want to go back there.
Yeah.
I'd rather sacrifice the dress than sacrifice myself.
Yeah, awesome. Go put those old clothes on. Let's see the old you and the new you.
The new me and the old me.
Okay.
Stand by for that.
Okay.
No words are required when the picture says it all.
One of my favorite dresses of all time. One of the most comfortable dresses.
And this was a figure-hugging
This is a figure-hugging
stretch outfit. That's crazy.
Once upon a Christmas.
That's that much weight. That much. How many kgs is that?
A lady never tells her kgs. Just look at me and observe.
For so many reasons, Sophie is one of the best examples of a can-do philosophy.
So that's what it's supposed to be. And now show us what it was.
This is...
There we go. And this is not stretchy material, so there's no cheating here. We can't pull. That is all. That's incredible. Look at that. That much material.
No stretch.
No stretch. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Wow. Secret to being spectacular, apart from your amazing diet. What kind of exercise do you do?
Do you want the truth or?
The truth. We all want that's all we want. We just want the truth.
The truth is I don't gym. I don't have time to gym. I walk. I exercise walking, talking, running my business on the road. Okay. And sometimes I remember my high school talent, which is playing tennis. So luckily, in the estates I live in...
I'm a tennis player too.
Are you tennis player too?
Yeah.
So let's try something. I don't know if I'll remember if it's 15 love or 30 love or...
It's fine. It's just the exercise, it's getting outdoors. So she doesn't gym, she walks and she plays tennis. And she eats healthy.
And I swim, but my body's not ready for the swimsuit diets.
Not yet. Soon enough, it will be.
Yeah.
Awesome.
With a new TV production company and a new show, Sophie hasn't had much time to practice recently, but wasn't showing it.
Sophie, I must admit the tennis was
the last thing I expected to be doing with you.
Well, you never know until you try, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thunk?
Who would have imagined? What's that, 15 love? 15. For me?
What are the tips you can give to our viewers out there for not only surviving, but thriving and doing it in style like Sophie does?
Stay original, be yourself, focus on your dream, believe in your dream, start implementing. When you fall, you're not breaking, you're just falling, get up, you know? But other than that, focus and dream and believe and fulfill. And we will all be watching.
Awesome. 15 love?
15 love, let's continue. I want a game, I want one game.
Okay, go.
Guinness Book of Records, beating you.
This lady competes in a league of her own.
South Africa, we know you agree. Sophie's such an original. They definitely broke the mold when she was made. And what a shapely mold too.
Up next, if Bailey Schneider and DJ Sox are going to have 2 weddings, then it's entirely reasonable that the bride should have 2 dresses.
One personality beaming with happiness, even more than she usually does, is radio presenter and former Top Billing Presenter Search finalist Bailey Schneider. Being in love tends to do that, and we were there when she wed the love of her life, Sox Giorgiades, also known to many as DJ Sox.
The couple met the day Bailey was visiting Cape Town to be on the Expresso morning show. Since she worked for an online radio station based in the city, she popped in to say hi. Sox was on air, they met, and our first date became a 4-year courtship.
My proposal story is one of my favorite stories. I was proposed to on a Monday afternoon.
Monday, what else to do on a Monday but propose on Monday? I thought, right, let's get up Table Mountain. Parents had never been. I thought, perfect, let's take them up there. And they thought they were going up for a trip to Table Mountain.
And it was just magical because we went to the spot where I remember looking over. It was one of our first dates that we went to. And I remember looking at the most beautiful view going, oh, I have to make Cape Town my home. And it was that spot that he proposed and got down on one knee. And it was just magical. At first, I didn't think he was serious.
She was like, are you joking? I'm like, I have a box in front of me. I'm not joking. That's it. So to this day, her parents still tell me I owe them a Table Mountain trip. But yeah, that was our proposal. So we look at Table Mountain in a whole new light from now.
It was just perfect.
Born in Greece, Socrates, aka DJ Sox, moved to South Africa at the age of 5. He is very traditional, so the first wedding would be in the Greek Orthodox Church in Woodstock.
I am so lucky to be having 2 ceremonies, and it is just the best. I got to have 2 beautiful Hendrik Vermeulen wedding dresses. I get to celebrate not once but twice and do something really special with the 2 families, so the Greek ceremony and then the English ceremony, and that for me is just so sentimental.
The silk Dupillon wraparound neckline and Chantilly lace bodice were pure class.
So my Greek dress, we wanted to do something that was really elegant and really classy and really respectful of the Greek Orthodox Church. So it was beautiful silk that when it moves, it sings. It was this beautiful lace bodice and just slightly off the shoulder that was really modest but still really beautiful.
This was the start of a 3-day wedding weekend.
The Greek ceremony is a very emotional, traditional ceremony where it reenacts things. So you have the Stephana, which goes on your head, which are the crowns, and that unites you because they're tied together by a ribbon, and you interlink one from the other. You know, you have sipping from the holy cup, you have the exchanging of the rings 3 times with your best man. You walk around the table 3 times, so it's a lot of meaning in reenacting. So it's a very, very special ceremony, and I'm very, very glad we got to do it.
The rain of rice is a symbol of wishing the couple prosperity as they grow common roots together. Having been the classic demure bride, next Bailey got to step it up.
Today's dress is a little sexier. I absolutely love how it floats. Later, when I take the petticoat off, I have a very sexy slit. And I just love the lace detail. I feel like I can move. I don't feel like I can't breathe or like I can't dance. And it's just the most perfect dress.
The couple chose this farm just outside Greyton for its beauty, and because over 100 guests could sleep over after the reception.
Bailey and Sox went to Greece on their first experience, and Bailey was down at the sea and she loved Greece.
But when Sox took her up into the mountains, she fell absolutely in love with it. The trees and the forests, and she came back home, and when she briefed me, that was her first inspiration. We've incorporated a lot of foliage, we've incorporated the swags, the suspended flowers, as you can see behind me, and we've really tried to incorporate all the Grecian aspects of it. We brought in a lot of herbs, all your rosemary, your olive, and a lot of thyme. And this for Bailey and Sox, they felt was really and truly important to them, and it really brings a lot of their character through.
To his tan shoes and navy suit, the groom added a waistcoat and new tie. If he thought he had gotten over his emotions with the first ceremony, he was wrong.
Feeling a little bit overwhelmed, emotional. I think I'll be a lot easier when the formalities are over and I've said my speech, and then the partying and the plate breaking and the whiskey burning can start, and then the hangover tomorrow.
I am feeling really excited and a little bit anxious. I can't wait to just lock eyes onto Sox and see him standing down the aisle and see all the beautiful people that are so important in our lives to be there to witness us taking our vows and just spending the rest of our lives together.
Here in this tranquil oak grove, the occasion was deeply moving, especially for Bailey's dad, Charles Schneider.
It was very, very special. She's a beautiful person inside and out, and I have been blessed to have all three of the women in my life, my two daughters and my wife. They've just been great, and Bailey was special.
They both looked amazing. Bailey looked beautiful, and Sox is a very lucky guy, and knowing him for so long, I'm just so happy he found someone to match him and his personality, and they're gonna live a very happy life together.
Oh, you know, it's fantastic to see Sox happy. I mean, you know, he's been the eternal bachelor, and it's great to see somebody finally being able to tame the beast.
I wish them happiness, success, abundance, lots of grandchildren, hopefully. She'd love to hear me say that. I think they both waited for the right person for quite a while, and so I'm just glad they found each other.
Bride and groom grabbed a bottle of champagne and slipped away for 5 minutes to watch and appreciate this party gathered in their name.
It's been so incredibly special watching my sister walk down the aisle, not once but twice this weekend. And I couldn't be happier that I finally have a brother that I've never had before. I think the most special thing about him is that he makes my sister just so happy, and I don't think I've ever seen her smile as much as she has in the last 3 years.
In the dancing stakes, Bailey and her father stole the show. Guests cheered whilst enjoying the best Greek canapes baked by Sox's mother, Demetria. Then the groom claimed the floor.
Today's been fantastic. It's been fun, it's been joy, we've had a great day with everybody, and obviously tonight is still going and probably will go for a little while, so yeah, it's been great.
They say the reason why we break Greek plates is so that no one needs to do the dishes.
To guests from Europe, the UK and Singapore, the couple had certainly made the trip worthwhile.
I feel like I'm on top of the world right now.
That, and I'm the luckiest guy in the world, and a weight off our shoulders. Like, it's done, the planning is over, let the party begin.
Yeah. Absolutely. It was just amazing to see all the months and months of hard work and planning and figuring out what we want to do and really making sure that it wasn't about being perfect, but it was just about being loved. And I think we nailed it.
I love you. That's
I
what
love
I want to
you
say.
too.
Happiness couldn't have come to two nicer people.
Bailey, Sox, you two are magic together, and we wish you only the very best of the good life.
Still to come for two entrepreneurial sisters, their mother is the benchmark for style, and travel is their best university.
We're in the business of bringing you top new restaurants, destinations, and the best of the good life. If you're in the happy position of being able to try those new experiences out for yourself, then Standard Bank's Signature Banking can make it all happen for you.
Sisters Maimoona Omuabor and Hafsa Salim were born to a stylish mother and a father who traveled often. The sisters' education came as much from their parents as from formal learning, and their beauty and fashion business is the result. After 15 years in the beauty and retail industry and achieving her MBA, Maimoona decided to join forces with Hafsa to open their own business.
The whole feel of Beauty Emporium is like you've walked into your own harem, your own domain as a woman. Clothing or jewelry. Oh, I can have my nails done. Oh, I can have my massage done. It's fantastic. The woman comes in there and she feels at home.
Spending so much time together with Maimoona, it was easy to understand what our passions were, what drove us, what motivated us to get out of bed. So our visions were always in sync. So before Beauty Emporium was launched, the vision and the concept was already created long before its location was discovered. We knew who our market was and we knew who would come and shop at Beauty Emporium. We get our beauty flair and fashion sense from our mom. Growing up, it was more like a playful thing because she used to coordinate our wardrobe, whether it be with accessories, whether it be with ribbons, stockings, bobby socks. That's where we get our fashion sense from, which was from mom.
With Maimoona traveling to Europe soon, she needs outfits. It's great timing because the sisters are building a fashion range in consultation with designer Denise Stewart.
The type of women that we targeted were sophisticated women, women of class, women of leisure, also a fashionista, also embracing the fact, identifying the fact that she has these curves, she has this fullness, but she's okay with it. And Beauty Emporium, that's where she's going to get it.
You know, we travel a lot, and a lot of our inspirations come from the African feel, the African theme abroad. And you find, especially in the West African countries, there's got the Ankara materials, the beautiful lace. So these are the kind of things that we're looking at, and also to inspire our customers to get into and buy and purchase, especially for the fuller size women and making different styles.
Every style experience Maimoona has abroad feeds into the business. Her travel is streamlined thanks to Standard Bank's private banking signature.
The love for traveling comes from growing up. My dad had exposed us to understand travel and going abroad because he used to do that a lot. And I was always curious to know what's happening abroad. It's enlightened us a lot to understand the different cultures abroad, what's happening abroad, and especially on the business angle, because that grows you as a person and grows your portfolio in your own lifestyle. The Standard Bank private banking signature has made my life much more easier when it comes to traveling. Having the services of the signature travel team, that has helped alleviate the process of getting forex, which they bring to you, the application of visas, which they do for you, and makes your life much more easier and also strengthens your relationship with the travel team.
The sisters' fashion offering draws on the expertise of local designers. So when they wear these outfits on travels abroad, it's a fine advert for African style. With Standard Bank moving them forward, there's no looking back.
That's a wrap for tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. And please remember, this is your show. So if there's someone or something which you'd like us to know about, please do get in touch. We'd love to hear from you. Until next week, good night and God bless.
Next Thursday's show sees Uzalo stars Name Ups and K Sabia in deep water with real sharks. Our location is a designer sea of tranquility, built by a couple who met on an oil rig. And John joins Sholto Copley in a race to the top.
Things are getting loud and crazy this week on Top Billing. We're hanging out with a homegrown Hollywood star.
Oh, that's very complimentary, thank you. I feel more like a homeless man. It's going to get loud, it's going to get crazy.
See it first on Top Billing. Find it on 3.